The world now knows that President Ahmadinejad was met largely with disdain when he came to New York last week, barred from Ground Zero and condemned at Columbia University. But few are aware that one group did welcome him, albeit quietly. On Wednesday morning, dozens of religious leaders tried to find common ground with the Iranian leader on the basis of religious faith.
There are those in our communities who say to us that we are naive, that this dialogue holds no hope for peace, and we believe they are wrong. On behalf of the Christian leaders in the United States and Canada, I am pleased to extend a warm welcome to you, Mr. President.
The welcome was too warm, according to the president of the Hague Appeal for Peace. As far as Cora Weiss could tell, she was the only Jewish person in the room.
I was very uncomfortable this morning because I felt that having a dialogue doesn't require making love. And it was an uncritical dialogue, basically.
Weiss told us Jewish leaders were originally invited to sit with the president and ask tough questions, but disapproval from the Jewish community forced many to reconsider.
And so even courageous young women, rabbis, who were planning to come, pulled out.
But Chris Ferguson, the United Nations representative to the World Council of Churches, argued that the friendly reception here was important after the showdown between Ahmadinejad and academics at Columbia.
In Columbia, there was an opportunity to really suggest that there are some institutions that will not be made as vehicles of destructive foreign policy. Academia can be one of them. They failed the test. They tried to rob him of his dignity, and they simply destroyed their own credibility as an honest broker of truth. We hope that religious institutions can be another alternative to bankrupt foreign policy. And hopefully today we didn't fail the test.
But did they pass the test? Mary Ellen McNish thinks the answer is yes, because amid his generally hostile reception in New York, Iran's president seemed to value the encounter.
He holds us in high regard because he's now met us twice, and he knows he will be treated with respect.
McNish is part of a Quaker and Mennonite delegation that first held talks with President Ahmadinejad last year and later received an invitation to travel to Iran and continue their conversation there. Now's cameras followed them on that trip. This time she pushed harder for a gesture of good faith from the president that would demonstrate their progress to the international community.
Will you tell us how you can turn everything around with us and work with us so that the world will know your good faith by making a concrete risk for peace?
We think the best way is to continue these conversations, and we welcome all these discussions completely between different groups, thinkers, scholars, and especially from the religious community.
Did this third discussion with the president yield any breakthroughs?
This is the third conversation on probably a multi-year journey. So breakthrough, no, but deepening of a relationship, yes.
Religious leaders saw signs of this deepening relationship in a gift, a depiction of Christ's Last Supper.
Well, I think it was the fact that he chose a picture made in Iran that represents Christianity was meaningful, and it was meaningful just to receive the gift as well. Thank you so very much.
And the delegates reciprocated.
It is a dove, the symbol of peace, that I would like to take from my lapel and pin it on yours and wish you God's blessing as we work for peace together. May I? Thank you.
But Weiss felt it all a little too cozy. Columbia head Lee Bollinger may have had harsh words for the president 2 days earlier.
You are either brazenly provocative or astonishingly uneducated.
But Weiss says one extreme did not justify the other.
On the one hand, Bollinger went overboard in his attack. On the other hand, the religious community this morning went overboard in its love affair. So there has to be a middle ground of concerned criticism.
But some critical questions were asked. After a pointed query about Iran's nuclear program, Ahmadinejad asked why America is so concerned about Iran.
We're the ones who should be concerned if hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops are on our borders, near our borders, and that we're being threatened by U.S. officials on a daily basis.
Mary Ellen McNish also explained that the delegates have asked Ahmadinejad questions about Israel, nuclear weapons, and the Iraq study group before. This time they took a different approach.
We decided we didn't want to keep going over the same old territory. We wanted to go deeper. We wanted to take this opportunity to go to a deeper level and ask more spiritually based questions, and I think we did that.
I wish we could have gone a little further, like with our last question, and to learn to know him better as a person, as an individual as well.
This last question was a personal one from the audience.
The question is this. We know that in Shia Islam, everyone is to choose a wise, pious Muslim scholar, a marja taqlid, to emulate. In the interest of learning to know you better, could you tell us who is your marja taqlid and why?
Answer: come to Iran for a fourth meeting.
As far as Islamic culture is concerned and our recognition and understanding of it, we need more time than is given to us here. If you allow me, when you come to Tehran, I will speak more about this with you.
Thank you.
This conversation was short, and it wasn't going to actually be the place where the conversation happened that turned things around. But it was going to model the fact that these are the only way that we'll move forward, is rejecting military solutions and suggesting that it is precisely those who you most profoundly disagree with that you have to talk to.